Now, I will not go into politics. We heard yesterday very knowledgeable teachers in the panels that were talking about how the Buddhist path can contribute and speaking about the right way according to the Dhamma. And the right way according to the Dhamma in these situations is, of course, to apply wisdom. But wisdom is not, or Buddhism is not a path to pacify the human logic. And what do we do when people protest? What do we do when our brothers and sisters who are not Buddhists are on the streets? The wisdom of Dhamma offers us freely, wholeheartedly, spiritual guidance, psychological support, conscious wake-up calls when we go astray, and down to earth, achievable practical advice that can be applied to every society. The Buddhist wisdom is to consider and acknowledge the suffering of the many, meaning refraining from political and martial suppression and from violating human rights and international law. When wisdom is not applied on time, the division between opposing parties of society, right and left, orthodox and liberal, that's what happens in Israel today, grow, and dukkha intensifies. Dukkha is not only personal or psychological, it is also collective and global. We, as practitioners of the Buddhist path, nurturing inner peace as a foundation for establishing a harmonious society in the spirit of the Dhamma, are committed not only to meditation and studying the texts, striving to remain untouched, pure, in an eternal state of sacred inner balance. That's not enough. We are committed also to taking a clear stand and acting according to events. We do not need to refrain from choosing side or taking action in the name of Buddhist principles of equanimous non-preference or non-comparison or non-clinging to ideas, or just because we are concerned that it might be considered less skillful than what we perceive to be the ideal standards of Dhamma. Don't be afraid to act. It is a battle on our home, and it is a battle on our planet, in order to save it from a situation that would render it unfit for habitation. The fact that we, as practitioners, develop qualities of kindness and wise attention should not turn us into neutral bystanders in the struggle where our liberal fellow beings who have no affiliation to Buddhism or any spiritual path fight for democratic justice and against theocratic dictatorship. We can accept if the thought, speech, or action is temporarily more oppositional and less spiritual than what we ideally would like it to be. Cultivation of inner peace and wisdom should not impede our ability to respond to earthly matters like democracy that require clear and effective intervention. The attitude of not choosing side in the face of social crisis is based on a flawed and shallow understanding of Buddhist teachings, if I may say humbly. Let us recall the fierce tone of the learned and beloved monk Bhikkhu Bodhi when he speaks of the necessity of upholding ecological values in face of planet whose resources are depleting and being polluted. Let us remember the Saffron Revolution in 2007 in Myanmar, where thousands of monks peacefully protested against economic decisions of the government that affected the livelihood of the people, and they paid the price. Perhaps it is better for us as practitioners to be willing to pay a karmic price, in our political and social engagement. Let us not use the Dhamma as an anesthesia for common sense. Thank you.